Okay, on to a little bit more of the juicy stuff. So, anatomy of the eye. I mean, the anatomy of the eye is absolutely amazing. When we are looking at the anatomy in terms of eyelashes, we have our eyelashes to protect our eyes from the dirt, the debris, from everything, the dead skin cells, everything that kind of circulates in the air. They really are amazing. We have, believe it or not, between 90 and 200 eyelashes on each eye, and that's just the top of each eye. So when you're doing eyelash extensions and someone says to you, why does it take you so long? That is why it takes so long. We individually apply extensions onto every single one of those natural lashes. I mean, you don't have to apply them onto every single lash, but you absolutely can. If you're aiming for a full coverage set of eyelash extensions, we can absolutely do that. So when someone says, I can do a set in half an hour, unless you've got 50 natural lashes, then generally that's not going to be the case. A normal, really good application will take, I would say, between an hour and a half and 2 hours. And don't get me wrong, we offer a lash and a flash set for an hour, but it's not full coverage. That is going to get them 50 to 60% coverage. If I wanted to do a perfect set, I mean, I've done a lot of competition work, for example, I'm going to need 2 to 3 hours. So the girls in the salon, I mean, I do take slightly less time, but the girls in the salon block out 2 hours for a full set of eyelash extensions. We also have around 100 eyelash extensions on the bottom. I mean, we don't need to eyelash those, but it's just important to know that we do have that many eyelashes. And another thing that's important to know, which actually I didn't know when I first trained in eyelash extensions, is that our lashes shed. Crazy that I didn't know that, but I just didn't. So our lashes shed. Each one of our lashes has a 90-day cycle. So we have the anagen phase, the catagen phase, and the telogen phase. So the anagen, as it says in here, this is the active growing phase. So around 40% of our eyelashes are in the anagen stage. This phase lasts between 30 and 45 days. We have the catagen phase. So this is the transition phase. The follicle shrinks and the eyelash stops growing. This phase takes 2 to 3 weeks. And then telogen. So this is the resting phase. The follicle weakens and the shedding process begins. And this phase can take up to 90 days. Generally, each eyelash cycle has 90 days. So that's the anagen from the new growth going into the catagen phase from getting ready to shed, and the telogen phase where it's resting and then it sheds. And what happens is that lash sheds and a new lash comes through, which is why we have infills, because the natural lash is shed with the extensions attached. A client comes back after 2, 3, 4 weeks and they have new extensions put on. So that's kind of how infills work and how the lash cycle works. So again, we've got the hair growth cycle here, and it just gives you a little image to show the anagen, the catagen, telogen, return to anagen, early anagen. So that is what happens with hair. And it's really important that we're explaining this during our consultation with our clients, because some clients just don't know. And I'll let you into a little secret. I remember when I first started doing eyelash extensions, which seems crazy now, but if you don't know, you don't know. I didn't necessarily know all of this when I trained, and I definitely wasn't doing thorough consultations with my clients. And I had a lady come with me, bless her. This was when classics were really important. We were doing classics. And she came in for her infill and she had a little bit of tissue with all of her extensions on and asked me if I wanted to reuse them, not realising that obviously they had her natural lashes attached. Also, if you don't explain that, sometimes the client will shed an eyelash extension from their natural and think that you're causing damage. So they need to know that our naturals come out with the eyelash extensions, and it is completely normal to lose up to 5 eyelash extensions a day. Let's just see here. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the consultation in the next video.